Master has relayed my situation to you, I take it.
Oh? How did you know?
I'd intended to wait until you came back before going to sleep, but I didn't hear you come in. I was worried that something may have happened to you, so I went outside to check and caught sight of my master. On top of this, you have been acting very strangely around me this morning, causing me to suspect that my master must have told you everything about me. After all, Master is very talkative.
Sorry, Shenhua. Paimon had you down as an adeptus this whole time, but it turns out Paimon was wrong.
It's okay. I don't mind. The fault is mine for not explaining everything to you sooner, because in my experience, trying to explain is a futile pursuit. Still, though you mistook me for an adeptus, you never treated me as distant and unapproachable. Instead, you treated me as you would a friend. For this, I am very grateful indeed.
To be fair, we've met our fair share of real adepti, too. Anyway, now it's settled. From now on, you're our friend. Whether you're an adeptus or a human isn't the important thing. First and foremost, we're just plain old friends.
Got it. Although I don't know quite what it entails in terms of what I have to do, I must say I like the title friend very much indeed.
Great! Well, now that we're all rested up, we should start searching for the other 2 items on the list. But before we do that, let's go to the building site and ask Ningguang's little helper how the progress is going. After all, Sunset Vermilionite is so rare. Paimon doubts many competitors will really be able to find any. If it turns out some of them have given up already, we'll be able to take things a little more slowly. Oh, and another thing. We bought some grilled chicken drumsticks on the way back last night. There was a place just outside. Here's one for you, Shenhua. Try it! They're so good.
I concur. It has a rich flavor, far more agreeable than those I've cooked for myself in the wilderness in the past.
Oh, wir haben hier Shun, Yunjin und Beidou.
Look! The Jade Chamber is floating into the sky! But it seems to be tied down by something.
That's because it's not finished.
Hey, Bylin! And hey, Beidou! And hey, person Paimon doesn't know?
Given the enormous scale of the Jade Chamber, we split the construction work into 2 phases to make sure the structure remains balanced. Before we find some suitable plastrite, we build the Jade Chamber's keel at ground level. Once the plastrite is ready, we place it into the keel and let the partially constructed Jade Chamber rise up to the height of the surrounding mountain peaks. The remainder of the construction work is then carried out at that altitude. Once everything is ready, we release the iron tethers and allow the Jade Chamber to rise to its target altitude.
Miss Bywin, we've brought some new materials to submit.
One moment, I'll be right there. The construction work has only been able to progress this rapidly thanks to the plastrite provided by you. Lady Ningguang is most grateful and looks forward to seeing more of your work.
Wow, can't believe you sourced the plastrite so quickly. It's the key piece of the puzzle. Looks like you beat us to the punch.
Beidou, you're joining the Jade Chamber contest too?
Sure am. I happened to get my hands on a chunk of Sunset Vermilionite on a voyage a while back, so I figured I'd bring it over.
Huh. So even though it's rare, we're not the only ones who managed to get a hold of it.
Oh, I've got some introductions to do. This is the renowned Miss Yun, or Yunjin, probably the most famous figure in the Liyue opera scene.
Greetings.
These 2 are Paimon and the Traveler, both good buddies of mine. And this is... sorry, not sure we've met.
Shenhua. I am their... friend.
Good to meet you. A friend of a friend is my friend too. Or, as I like to say, a mate of a crewmate is part of the crew. Miss Yun is also here for the contest. Turns out she needed to borrow a boat, so we came together.
It's an honor to finally meet you both.
I've heard much about you. Miss Shenhe, though we are only meeting for the first time, I have a feeling that we will get along very well indeed. To be honest with you all, I am in great need of this opportunity to ask Lady Ningguang a question. That's why I joined the contest. Thanks to my father's connections, I was able to acquire a specimen of the plastrite required. Fortunately, it was approved for submission, despite being a little on the diminutive side.
Wow. So it looks like the three of us are competitors now.
Excuse me for prying, Miss Shenhe, but are you competing as well?
No, I don't have any questions for Ningguang. I just wanted to help her win.
In that case, I have a proposal to make. Lady Ningguang said that the first 3 contestants to procure all 3 materials will be awarded the chance to ask a question. Well, there are 3 teams here. We can split the prize between us. Instead of competing against each other, we could work together to secure the top 3 places between us. What do you think?
Sounds great, but how does that change things exactly?
I think I see where you're going with this, Miss Yoon. The plastrite was the most difficult item to source by a long shot. Luckily, all 3 of us managed to get our hands on it. The 2 remaining items aren't quite so rare, so as long as one of us finds a way to source it, the other 2 can hop on the bandwagon. How'd I do? Is that what you had in mind?
Precisely.
Huh. Interesting approach.
Okay then. All right, I'll go first. I have some leads on these wonder cores. From what I've heard, the core itself is really not that difficult to make. The hard part is getting hold of the ore used as raw materials. I'm gonna head back to the ship and ask Suling if he's heard of them. You guys...
We will head into town and seek advice from Master Zhang of Hanfeng's Ironmongers. Thoughts?
Wonderful. We'll split into teams then, and whoever makes progress first brings all of us a step closer to victory. I'm gonna take off. See you later.
Okay, let's go! By the way, what question are you gonna ask Ningguang, Yunjin?
I'm looking for a venue to host the performance of our new opera. Lady Ningguang has excellent judgment, so I would like to hear her opinion.
Ooh, what's the opera called? Paimon wants to go see it.
The opera is a labor of love by my father. He wrote it based on a popular urban legend about an evil spirit and an adeptus. It's called The Divine Damsel of Devastation.
Okay, frage Herrn Zwang nach der Information über Wunderkerne. Okay. Und es scheint so, als wenn wir uns dann den Preis aufteilen, über das, weil wir ja eigentlich das gleiche Ziel haben. Nice. So, ich glaube am besten ist, wenn ich mich dahin teleportiere. Yep, okay, dann. Oh, Junge. Okay, dann gehen wir mal dahin. Und ich muss sagen, J-Chamber sieht schon sehr gut aus. Also wir sind auf jeden Fall ein gutes Stück vorangekommen. Ich will nicht wissen, wie viele Tage eigentlich jetzt schon vorbeigegangen sind, weil ich glaube kaum, dass das jetzt in 2-3 Tagen gemacht worden sind. Oder habe ich dafür einfach den Text verpasst? Ich war verdammter Idiot.
Hmm? Ah, hello. Are you here for something off the shelf, or do you need something forged?
Excuse me, Master Zhang. We were wondering if you'd heard of something called a Wonder Core.
Of course I have. Sorry, who's asking?
My name is Yunjin. Perhaps you don't know me, but I believe that you forged some weaponry for my father in the past, for stage use.
Yunjin? Stage use? Oh, so you must be Miss Yoon. Sorry, my brain's finally caught up. It's not used to doing much beyond bashing a hammer all day. Everyone's heard of you, Miss Yoon. Even folks who don't make it to the opera all that often. Like myself. So, you're here to ask about Wonder Cores, huh? As it happens, I do know how to make them. Matter of fact, I made some for Lady Ningguang back when she was building the original Jade Chamber. The types of ore needed to make Wonder Cores are a little hard to come by. Lady Ningguang supplied them herself last time. I don't suppose you've Brought any yourselves?
No, we were gonna ask you what kinds of ore we need.
Sure. Well, you'll need two kinds. Star Splinter Iron and Subrosium. If I remember correctly, Lady Ningguang sourced her Star Splinter Iron from the Mount Tianheng area. They say it resonates with visions. It could take some work, but if you stick with it, you'll find some eventually. As for the Subrosium, though, that's trickier. It's all but unheard of on the market. I'm really not sure. Sorry. What I've heard is that the people around Mount Tianheng have some sort of magic trick that can pinpoint the location of the stuff. Of course, it's probably just hearsay. If you want my advice, start by looking for Star Splinter Iron around Mount Tianheng. And if you run into any locals, ask them a few questions about Subrosium.
Mount Tianheng.
Interestingly enough, the story of the divine damsel of devastation also takes place on that mountain. I hear the view there is quite spectacular. A favorite destination of the Adepti, in fact. Perhaps it can give me some inspiration. Let's not delay. We should head straight there.
Geht zu dem südlichen Teil des Tianbergs, okay. Also ein seltenes Material natürlich. Wer hätte es gedacht? Ist ja immer so, ne? So, da. Ja, ruhig.
I came to Mount Tianheng once with my father as a child. I remember it being such a long climb that I could barely feel my legs by the time we reached the top. This is quite a trip down memory lane for me. Look at these majestic towering peaks and the gently flowing streams. It's like setting foot in paradise. No wonder the legend of the divine damsel of devastation is said to have taken place here. Adepti wander oft where mortals seldom stride. Indeed, this looks like a place that one might expect to be frequented by Adepti.
The Divine Damsel of Devastation is your upcoming opera, right? And the story takes place in Mount Tianheng. Huh. Seems like you have a real connection with this place. What's the story about, though?
It's the story of a girl becoming a hero.
Cool. A hero story? They're Paimon's favorite!
The legend first arose in this area. It is said that there used to be a prosperous village on the mountain. In that village, there was a loving couple who were completely devoted to one another. One day, a terrifying monster appeared. The wife was out collecting herbs and was captured by the monster. Her husband was so distraught at the news that it broke his spirit and drove him to madness. The vile and vicious monster told the villagers, "If you want to live, you must sacrifice a child to me."
What a nasty piece of work! Paimon sure hopes this monster gets put in its place!
But the monster was so terrible and so strong that all within the village were terrified of it. They had no choice but to give in to the monster's demand. Just while they were discussing whose child would be given over to the monster, a little girl suddenly stood up and came forward.
No! Don't do it, little girl!
Unbeknownst to anybody else, she was concealing an exorcist's blade. She approached the monster's lair, feigning fear and trepidation. When she finally arrived, she courageously drew her sword and entered into a fierce struggle with the monster, from which she eventually emerged as the victor. Her extraordinary abilities drew the attention of the Adepti, and they took her as one of their own. Her story became the stuff of legends. But alas, the paths of mortals and Adepti seldom cross, and she would never again re-enter the mortal world. And so, destined to grace the mortal realm for but a brief moment, she vanished like a wisp of smoke into thin air. That's how the opera ends.
I really like
Sus.
this story. But I personally think that perhaps the little girl was not as brave as the opera makes her out to be. I'm not sure she deserves all the praise she is given.
I've never considered that before. Opera is always an interpretation of the events it purports to portray. A certain degree of deviation from the truth is always inevitable. When my father wrote the script for this play, I suppose his intention was to inspire his audience with the character of the divine damsel.
I think it's a great story. The ideal story.
Well, it sure inspired Paimon! Let's go get ourselves some Star Splinter Iron! Yeah!
Also die Dings. Weiß nicht, zusammen gerade so. Also die Geschichte, die uns erzählt wird, klingt wirklich ein bisschen nach jemandem, den wir erst kennengelernt haben. Also sehr interessant. So, ist das? Ne, das ist auf jeden Fall so ein Dings, okay. Das ist jetzt so einfach gewesen, ne? Also suchen wir für Skitchen auch nach dem. Da hätten wir das erste. Wow. Und das ist zweit, okay. Sterne spielt der Herz. Herz, genau. So, und damit hätten wir das zweite. Nice.
No Star Splinter Iron. Now we just need to find that Subrosium.
Okay.
I think I saw a village on our way here. Master Zhang said we should ask the locals for help. Why don't we try there?
Na, probieren wir mal. Hier scheint ja ein älterer zu sein.
Hey, there really is someone here. Yunjin, looks like you were right. Excuse us, sir. Can we ask you something? Huh. He didn't seem to catch that.
Hello, sir. We were just passing by and wanted to ask if you happen to know anything about Subrosium.
Is he trying to tell us to look for clues in the village? Well, whatever. Guess we're on our own here. Shenhua, Yunjin, let's have a look around.
Sorry, you can go ahead without me. I'd like to have a word with this gentleman. If that's okay with you, Uncle Mingjin.
It's...
Shenhe.
Shinho. You're alive. The rumors were true. So, all these years? I'm sorry, I don't know how to find Subrosium. But I think you can find some information in the village. And this place is deserted now. No one ever comes here. So you can rummage around all you want.
Huh? You know this guy, Shenhua?
Thank you, kind sir. We'll go and take a look around. Don't worry. Mingjin has no ill intention towards Miss Shenhe. She'll be quite safe.
Okay, then let's see what we can find in this village.
Okay, wir suchen im Dorf nach den hinterlassenen Spuren. Okay. Ja. Ah, da. So, haben wir den erstes. Früher lebte im Osten des Dorfs eine Exorzistenfamilie, aber nach etwa 2 Wochen starb die Mutter an einer Krankheit. Die kleine Tochter wurde vermisst und kurz darauf erhängte sich der Vater an einem Bauernhof seines eigenen Hauses. Es wurde bestätigt, dass die Überreste eines bösen Archons in dem Dorf gefunden wurden. Die Dorfbewohner sind in Panik, da niemand sicher ist, ob die Überreste des bösen Archons endgültig verschwunden sind. Sei vorsichtig, wenn du dich in diesem Gebiet aufhältst.
Does this mean that the true story of the divine damsel of devastation happened right here, in this village? The time frame certainly matches, so it seems we're in the right area. Let's keep looking around.
Okay. Was haben wir denn noch so? Ich kann in die falsche Richtung, oder? Also hier doch. Oder wie? Oder hier vielleicht? Vielleicht im Haus? Ja, hier.
What's this?
Der Arzt hat gesagt, du seist schwer krank. Mach dir keine Sorgen, ich werde alles geben, was ich habe, um dich zu retten. Mein Herz tut weh, wenn ich sehe, wie du immer erschöpft wirst und deine Krankheit nicht mehr zu behandeln ist. Wie sehr wünschte ich könnte den Schmerz für dich ertragen. Du hast gesagt, dass du in diesem Leben nichts bereust und dass du dir nur wünschst, dass ich mich gut um Shanghai kümmere. Aber wenn du nicht bereust, warum die Tränen? Ich weiß nicht, was ich in letzter Zeit getan habe. Obwohl ich auch noch atme, fühle ich mich komplett ausgelaugt. Ich habe alle alten Texte gelesen, die ich in die Finger bekommen konnte, um nach Wegen zu suchen, dich zu retten. Aber es ist völlig sinnlos. Endlich habe ich es gefunden. Es war Mini-Jung. Er hatte das Buch, das ich retten konnte, versteckt gehalten. Ich nahm es und folgte den Anweisungen, meinen Gott zu beschwören und ein Opfer darzubringen. Der Gott erschien. Ich sagte ihm, dass ich bereit sei, mein Leben gegen alleines zu tauschen. Er schwieg und zeigte nur auf unsere Tochter Scheinbar. Der Gott sagte, ihr Schicksal sei es, den Fluch des Unheils zu tragen, dass sie dazu neige, denen, die ihnen nachstehen, Schaden zuzufügen. Der Gott sagte auch, dass sie vielleicht sogar die Ursache für deinen Tod war. Da es nun mal so war, dachte ich sollte. Ich habe sie in der Hölle zurückgelassen, die der Gott erwähnt hatte. 3 Tage sind vergangen und immer noch keine Nachricht. Das Warten macht mich unruhig. Ein unheiles Gefühl überfällt mich. Es tut mir leid, meine Liebe. Verzeih mir. Du auch, Shanghai. Bitte verzeih mir, wie dumm ich war. Wie blind. Ich möchte bei euch beiden entschuldigen. Persönlich. Scheint der Vater zu sein.
So, Shenhe is the divine damsel?
Das bestätigt es.
Now that I think about it, she does behave rather like an adeptus, and she is about the right age. So that's why I've been getting the strangest feeling whenever I chat with her. I should have noticed it earlier. According to this text, the divine damsel from the opera was actually the daughter of the loving couple. And she didn't volunteer. She was sacrificed to the monster by her own father. Oh. The truth is even more lamentable than the opera. Now I understand why Shenhe said the girl was not as brave as people think. It wasn't her choice to enter that ghastly situation. She was forced into it. Oh. It looks like my father may need to make a few revisions to his beloved opera.
We've looked everywhere, but still no mention of Sabrosium. Let's have a look over there.
Ah, wir sollten. Oh, verdammt. Ich dachte, wir sollten zu Shanghai gehen. Okay, also weiter nach dem Erz suchen, was dann hier vielleicht liegt. Also wirklich kleiner Bereich, also es muss hier schon fast hier liegen. Ist es das da? Die im Geheimissenz eingravierte Magie.
We need to go to the middle of the lake south of Mount Tianheng at dusk, and we'll find us some Sabrosium. Let's go back and tell Shenhe the news.
Ja, wow. Sprich mit Shanghai. Okay, also wir haben es gefunden. Aber ich nehme an, was Palmer gesagt hat, hat er für den Text zusammengefasst. Also muss ich mir, glaube ich, keine Sorgen machen.
One year when I was back visiting, I heard a story about a white-haired adeptus from a merchant passing by. I never imagined it was you. I was a very close friend of your father's. I could have stopped him from performing the summoning ritual. I had plenty of chances, but I couldn't bring myself to stand up to him. I just let things happen, let it all escalate. Well, we all know how that story ended. I bring flowers back here every year. And each time I wish I had a chance to apologize to you.
Apologize for what? If you'd stopped him, he'd only have found another way. There is nothing he wouldn't have done for his true love. Nothing.
Do you still hate him?
I don't know what I feel. I'm told my fate is to bear the curse of calamity, so my master bound my soul with red ropes to curb my aggression. But it also dampened my emotions, making me dispassionate, like the Adepti. So if you ask me how I feel about the past, if I hate my father or not, the truth is, I feel nothing at all.
It must have been so tough for you all these years.
Shenhe, we're back!
Oh, then I will leave you all in peace. Shenhe, it brings me some solace knowing that you are okay. I'll tell you more about the old times next time we meet.
Thanks, mister. We found some info in the end. Shenhe, look! This tells us how to find Subrosium. All we gotta do is go to the middle of that lake!
Let's go then.
Miss Shenhe, there's something I'd like to talk to you about. Just now, in the village, we found your father's diary. It turns out that many of the details in the Divine Damsel of Devastation are not true to the facts. So I'd like to change them.
Why?
I know I say that opera always deviates from the truth, but now that the main character is standing right here in front of me, I cannot simply dismiss your lived experience in favor of my father's fiction.
It's okay. I like your version.
But, huh?
My master once said that the day I learn how to use my strength for the good of others is the day that I can truly become part of human society. So, I hope that one day I might be brave enough to stand up and protect others, just like the girl in the opera. But I've never thought this way before, and I wonder whether I will continue to think in this way.
Don't worry. I believe you will. In fact, I think maybe you've already started to become the person you aspire to be. You just haven't had the opportunity to see it for yourself yet.
Shenhe! Yunjin! Cut the chit-chat! Let's go! We can't let someone else beat us to it!
Okay, jetzt geht zur Mitte des Sees. Okay, da soll dann also der... Okay, das wollte ich jetzt nicht machen. Da soll also das Ding sein. Ich habe den Namen schon vergessen. Ich bin Profi. Also, Mitte des Sees, hier. Ne? Oder bin ich gerade dumm? Ich probiere jetzt, ohne das Ding zu finden. Okay, halt nicht. So, J noch einmal. Ziel verfolgen. Es war doch darum, verdammt! Okay, teleportieren. Ach Mann, Alter. Start ohne die Navigation würde ich hinkommen. Leider nicht. So, da müssen wir hin. Und leck, Alter. Jesus Christ. Warte bis... Natürlich. Ach komm, dann gehe ich noch kurz mit das Achievement hier nehmen. 5. Okay, danke. So, also bis 7:30 Uhr, 17:30 Uhr, ne? So, da, voilà. Tick-Tack, 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 Tick-Tack. Ja. Schneller bitte, danke. So, und jetzt bin ich mal gespannt. Hallo. Na, wen haben wir denn da hinten? Xiao, der aktuell auch ja auf dem Banner ist, also in dem Zeitpunkt, wo ich es gerade aufnehme. Und ich hoffe, kein Glück habe und es noch nicht bekommen einfach. Und es sind nur noch 3 Tage, bis der Banner vorüber ist.
What brings you here? Have they found a solution to the danger in the sea? Ningguang didn't tell you. Something has happened in Guyan Stone Forest. According to the contract, as an Adeptus, I should not get involved for now. But these things can be unpredictable. I have a contingency plan of my own. Only a single mountain lies between here and Liyue Harbor. If things get out of control, I will defend this place myself.
Okay. Jetzt müssen wir noch da... Oh, ja, hier ist es ja.
That's everything we need. Let's head back and report in.
Yep. Okay, dann geben wir jetzt und haben wir es. Nice. Okay, ist das...
Curious if Beto's made any progress.
Ich würde sagen, ja. Ich frage mich, wer fehlt denn jetzt noch eigentlich? Wir haben Kätchen, glaube ich, noch nicht gesehen. Die haben wir noch nicht gesehen. Xiangling haben wir noch nicht gesehen. Wer fehlt noch? Natürlich der Achbun selbst, natürlich der Somorex.
Oh, goodness.
So, are they okay?
This is some top quality ore you found. I think I'll get a good end product out of these. Guess now it's my time to shine.
Hey everyone, how's the A-team doing? I ran into a bit of a brick wall on my end. Suling's never seen a Wonder Core before, and says it'd take a lot of research for him to get up to speed.
Leave the Wonder Cores to me. I'll work on them while you go about your business. Don't worry. It won't take me too long.
Much obliged, Master Zhang. We should look into the Adepti sigils next, but where should we find items relating to the Adepti?
I'll sort that out.
Oh? You got this then?
Yes. I have been training with the Adepti for years. I know a thing or two about making sigils. When we first met, I told you I came for the Jade Chamber, not the contest. In fact, I came specifically to deliver Adepti sigils. Master heard that Ningguang was planning to rebuild the Jade Chamber, so she sent me to deliver some Adepti sigils to her. Master also said she hoped that I can take this opportunity to rejoin human society. But now that I'm here, I wonder if I've been removed from the world for too long. There's so much basic knowledge that I lack. Maybe it won't work for me to stay here after all. But either way, I'm very glad to have met you, and I'll take care of those Adepti sigils.
Without knowing the ins and outs of your situation, I can't say whether you should stay or not. But now that our paths have crossed, we'll always have a connection. So if you're ever feeling down, come find me on my ship. There'll be a drink waiting for you.
Thank you. So, Master Zhang, I'll need to use your facilities to make the sigils.
Fine by me. I'm actually curious to see how the Adepti arts work. Maybe I'll learn something.
Sagen wir sich dran, die Wunder kehrt und dann ja.
The sigils are ready. Though they are in some respects inferior to my master's, I can assure you there will be no quality issues.
I've finished forging the things you asked for, too.
Great! Let's go submit them before someone else gets there ahead of us.
Okay. Wunderkern haben wir damit. Ach, das sieht übelst geil aus. Und noch den Talisman. Wo ich einfach so dumm war. Gibt die Sekretär. Stimmt, Ganyu haben wir noch gar nicht gesehen. Die habe ich vergessen. Die haben wir auch noch gar nicht gesehen. Aber ich glaube, die werden wir noch sehen. Es ist halt die Young Fei, wo uns fehlt. Xiangling, Keqing und Ganyu. Und natürlich Morak selbst. Aber sonst, glaube ich, haben wir jeden. Okay, natürlich könnte man noch Child hinzufügen. Aber das hat mehr damit zu tun, dass halt die Fatui überall ihre Hand im Spiel haben. Deswegen Child bezweifle ich, dass wir sehen werden. Aber sonst... Ja, Alter, wie weit das Ding schon vorangekommen ist. Jesus. Das ist schon erstaunlich. Wie gesagt, ich nehme an, das zieht sich über Tage, dieses Event sozusagen. Also würde es man im Spiel sozusagen live verfolgen.